Yeah, that's right, it's quite loud here, so forgive me, I can't hear you very well. We're on the Prime Minister's plane, you can see it here. I am on the steps. We've just touched down in California where we're refueling. He is halfway around the globe to attend the Samoa Chum Summit. He wants to talk about the Commonwealth, he wants to talk about trade, but he's been rather waylaid, may I say, about this story around the Trump team accusing the Labour Party of election interference and picking up complaints around party activists going over to volunteer for the Kamala Harris campaign. There was a LinkedIn post from a Labour operative calling for volunteers, talking about giving accommodation, and the Trump team have jumped on this and said it's election interference. Under election rules here in the USA, foreign individual can't spend more than $1,000 helping a campaign. It's also the case that some of the Prime Minister's top team went to the Democratic National Convention. This too raised in the letter. Well, from the Labour Party's point of view, there's nothing untoward here. Activists have been helping out, but on their own terms and paying for their own accommodation or being give accommodation by people that work on the Kamala Harris campaign. But it has caused obviously Keir Starmer a bit of an issue. We asked him about it on the plane over. He said he'd established a good relationship with Donald Trump. He didn't think that this would jeopardize his relationship. He also made it clear that these were volunteers, that nothing has broken electoral rules in the UK. On background, I've been talking to some of those around Keir Starmer. I think there's a sense within the Labour Party that this is more a domestic play, actually, by Donald Trump. It's about having a pop at the Harris campaign to paint them as being left-wing and associating them with a center-left government here in the UK. Nobody has been paid, Labour sources insist, from the Harris campaign. Nobody was there to advise the Harris campaign at that Democratic convention, where the Director of Comms and the now Chief of Staff Morgan Queenie attended. But it's all kind of bad noise if you like that the Prime Minister doesn't need so close out from the US election, where Donald Trump is neck and neck with Kamala Harris, could well become president-elect in but a few weeks' time. He wants to have a good relationship with the Republican nominee. That's why he spent time at Anger. They went over and had a dinner together at Trump Tower just last month. I think the Labour Party will put out a statement about this imminently. They will want it to die down, but it's a distraction for a Prime Minister that's now having to deal with an issue with one of the UK's closest allies when he's looking to the Pacific Islands to meet up with leaders from the Commonwealth.
Beth, I don't know if you can hear me clearly, but do you think, did you get the sense that he was angry about all of this? And I fully understand all the context that you're giving there, that obviously was given to you on background by members of his team. But I guess my question is he annoyed and angry with the Labour Party's head of operations for her initial social media post that made this slightly abnormal?
Sorry, Wolf, I didn't get any sense from the Prime Minister. We asked him this question in our huddle, where we asked him questions on the way over. Obviously, we asked him about this. He didn't seem angry at all. What he actually sought to do was just try to calm it down. He said these were Labour volunteers. The party hasn't paid for this. They've done it in their own capacity. He said he did not think, when he was asked, do you think it could jeopardize your relationship, he simply said, no, I built up a good working relationship with Donald Trump. But obviously it has raised loads of questions around what the Labour Party is doing, and to that active sorry to the head of operations that put out that now deleted LinkedIn post. It was probably quite poorly worded, because it sort of did imply that the party could be paying or helping out with accommodation costs. They've since made it clear that is not the case. This is all done on a voluntary basis, and also there is a strong history between these two parties doing this, sending volunteers in elections. I mean, the Democratic convention, there's been a long-standing tradition that the Labour Party sends people over to observe that event. This is not someone stressed to me about giving advice to the campaign team. Subsequently there have been Labour advisors that have been talking to Kamala Harris, like Deborah Mayton or Pamela Harris's team, but they no longer work for the Keir Starmer government. So I think from a government perspective back home they'll be hoping that this dies down, but from a Trump perspective I think the view in London is that this is a useful tool for him to make a noise about Pamela Harris being left-wing. It's one of his key attack lines to her. Thanks for watching this video.